Hey guys, it's your boy, the Golden Crypto, back at you with another great video. Guys, always remember, I'm not a financial advisor, so always do your own research. Never trust a fool with a microphone. Also, if you could like and subscribe, it helps me a great deal. So, without further ado, let's crack on. What have we got? We've got Filecoin, another one which I'm personally quite heavily invested in. I believe this is going to kind of make up the foundation or the bulk of my sort of crypto asset in the years to come. In terms of some stats, we recently saw an all-time high of $91, which is impressive considering it was consolidated around the $22 region for a long while. In terms of circulating supply, there's 58 million Filecoins in circulation. Kind of total coins possible are 2 billion. So right now we've only just explored 3% of the maximum amount of coins out there. So massive potential for growth still. It hasn't reached its kind of capacity by any means. It's just getting started. Market cap of 4.5 billion. That's sort of quite impressive. Nothing in terms of when you look at a 24-hour volume mark, you can see 4.7 billion in the last 24 hours was actively traded. So, that's always a good indicator. If you see all my videos, I like to use that as an indicator to see how active, how well adopted, from a really kind of crude way of seeing how well adopted a coin is. Right now, so Filecoin's kind of popping off, so no surprises with that. Let's move on. Let's crack on with digging a bit deeper in. Let's take a look at their website. So, what is Filecoin? Filecoin is a decentralized storage network, basically designed to store data and take away the kind of the power which a lot of these centralized data hubs like AWS, that's Amazon Web Services, and Cloudflare currently have on the grips of large corporate amounts of data. Their website is beautiful, honestly, more beautiful than my missus, to be fair. Would recommend, having a look on it if you have a 5 minute spare, all you need, and click explore the Filecoin vision. It's completely interactive. It feels like you're in a VR world. You know what I mean? Those first point of views for your dirty guys out there. You know exactly what I mean. But it's fully immersive. Give it a watch. You won't regret. But let's dig a bit. Let's move on. So I think this kind of UCL are doing a seminar on it. UCL essentially, if you're not from London or the UK, it's the equivalent of, I'd say, Princeton. It's one of the top tier sort of universities in this country. So if they're doing seminars on it, there is something there, something worth talking about. And I think what is more interesting in terms of the overview is when we look here. Look, Filecoin is the first of its kind of the decentralized storage network. Other users can join and contribute to the storage capacities to the peer-to-peer network. I'll kind of run through that a bit more and explain what exactly is meant by that. So the blockchain supports the Filecoin network, integrates all the proofs to ensure no one misbehaves, deletes, or corrupts data. And what that means is essentially, as it's a peer-to-peer network, essentially other users, other miners create the storage which is needed on a decentralized platform. But this storage that's created is vigorously tested by Filecoin before any reward is given to the miners to make sure there's no corruption or sort of any data breaches with the storage providers. And that's always going to be the risk, when you're decentralized and you've got many people looking after these bits of data, as opposed to the centralized kind of view of things where it's one person like Google or Amazon with a major grip on the market. But that's where the market's moving. We're all moving towards a decentralized world. So yeah, like I said, uses proof of storage algorithm, which means miners get rewarded as they contribute file storage, and they get Filecoin as a reward, actually. I'm not going to dig too much into that. I'm trying to keep this video a bit more short and sweeter than my previous ones, because I've seen a lot of drop off when it gets too long. And look, it's worth mentioning as well. And look, I think this sounds really powerful. It's estimated that approximately half of the world's file storage space is unused, whereas Filecoin, with its algorithm, you can almost almost an equilibrium of supply and demand. As we need more storage, the miners can mine it, and vice versa. So, like as we move towards not wanting to be wasteful, even in the data world, I think this is a great selling point for the coin. This article sums it up quite well. Chinese manufacturers buy Filecoin miners worth about $90 million. So the Chinese are getting quite heavily involved in the actual mining of it. So this isn't a company that's adopting Filecoin, they're actually just buying the sort of computing and storage equipment in order to become miners, because it's economical and it's profitable to be involved in the space from a miner's point of view, which is quite rare with kind of Bitcoin now being quite oversaturated and Ethereum, Here's a breakdown of all the mining information. So there's currently 1,623 active miners. Each of these miners gets approximately 0.1 Filecoin per terabyte mine. So a terabyte's 1,000 gigabytes. You can see here there is a large adoption of companies. None that are probably too known yet, but that's most likely bound to change in the coming few years or even months. We can see the biggest miners right now are from the US. Shout out to my US fans out there. Singapore, we've got China, Ni Hao, Germany, Guten Tag. I hope you're impressed by my multilingualism. Maybe it helped me get a few multilingual misses back when I'm on that beach in Barbados with all of you guys. But yeah, this is the only really interesting thing in terms of showing you the mining stuff. So Filecoin in the last 48 hours, we've had a 40% skyrocket. I think this article sums it up quite well. There's two possible reasons for its uptrend. Mainly the fundamentals, such as the growth of its storage capacity and transaction volume, in addition to interest from investors, which is like every coin. But here's my take on it, and I think this feeds into the article quite well. The reward you get from mining Filecoin is 0.1 Filecoins. So it's almost like a positive reinforcement cycle. As the Filecoin gets more interest and it starts to rise, the price of Filecoin is going to rise. That means the reward for mining Filecoin is exponential. It's positively correlated to the interest in Filecoin. So that's why right now we're seeing an upward trend, and we're seeing that company in China investing $90 million into mining equipment, and that's what's contributing to the growth of Filecoin, because it's so profitable from a miner's point of view, which is helping to make the project well adopted. And I think in the future we're going to see this upward trend continue as it gets more recognition. Grayscale, another great investment firm. They've recently bundled Filecoin together in one of their trusts, and they've got BAT, which is, I believe, basic attention token. We'll talk about that in another video. We've got Chainlink, Mana, and then Filecoin, and LPT, which is, I'm not actually too sure what LPT is, if I'm honest. Oh, there we go, LivePeer. But look, they've entrusted that this coin is going to go somewhere to the point where they would bundle it in as an offer to their kind of clients, and that's got a reputational risk. So look, what's the short term of Filecoin? Well, if you I think this article is quite interesting. If you follow the TD sequential way of looking at the graph, then ultimately Filecoin is looking like it's going to have a short-term pullback. The TD sequential is basically an indicator that identifies a turning point in the price or trend based on sort of how many candles or upward spikes it has. So we've seen, it tested at about all-time high when it hit the $80 mark, and now it's dropped back down. So let's have a look on the 1 month graph. We tested at about, well, it hit sort of $92, sorry, and then it dropped back down to about the $85 region. We've also had another test, and we've now dropped subsequently to the $75 region. So if the article sort of predicts, it did actually predict that we're going to see around another dip to the $67 region, and that's based off what they like to call profit taking. So as Filecoin sort of rocketed off, there's a few investors like myself who got involved quite early on, and the temptation is there to kind of cash out a lot of your returns. I'm always in it for the long-term hold because I want to miss it in Barbados. So, that's not going to come cheap. And look, we haven't really seen Bitcoin rocket off. It hit the 60K region and then dropped another 2K. If we look at a 1 month chart, we can see, look, it's not gone parabolic like we've seen in the past. And naturally, Filecoin will be tied to Bitcoin like the rest of the market. So I think we can see a lot of growth potential still arising from Filecoin. If we look at the sort of the market breakdown of Filecoin, we can see where we've had a drop down to $73 at its lowest point. We also, right now, would be an interesting time to see if they're going to it's currently retesting the market. So tomorrow morning, I think we'll have a clear indication by the time this video comes out whether it's about to rocket off again or if it's going to dip back down. If it dips back down, I'd recommend holding and waiting to see what the market does before sort of jumping in and buying at a premium. But guys, as always, it's been your boy, the Golden Crypto. Please subscribe and like, and I'll see you in the next video. Much love.